right, so let's dive straight into it.
Yep, perfect. So it looks like I've got some questions from your all's community that I can just blast through, or I can go one at a time, kind of give some time to.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. I mean, let's make it, as conversational as possible. So I like to keep the alpha for the end of the stage so that people are tuning in for more. But let's start with first things first. For those tuning in, who might not be familiar with Copiosa, can you tell us, who are you, what's Copiosa, who's the team behind it, and so on?
yeah, perfect. So I'm Josh Stalitz, CEO of Copiosa, and my journey here with Copiosa is probably different than a lot of CEOs. So I didn't start the company at the very beginning. I was a super passionate community member who saw the opportunity behind the problem that Copiosa is fixing. And our current head of partnerships, which is in the call as well, Bailey, is the exact same story. It's a community member that just saw the opportunity behind making small cap cryptos accessible to people. And I feel like this perspective, starting as community members ourselves, really influences how the company is run. It fuels our just drive to actively involve our community as much as we can in kind of guiding Copiosa's features and usability. And so the other question on one of the beginning ones from your community was, what is Copiosa? Which is a great question. So Copiosa was born out of the challenge that many new crypto users face when they try to buy small cap cryptos. I'm guessing everyone here kind of knows what small caps are, but in case someone's newer and they aren't as familiar, it's basically all the cryptos outside of the top 100 or 200, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and so on. So centralized exchanges already have made a user-friendly experience for these top cryptos, but for newcomers wanting to explore these small caps, they need to dive into all the complexities of DeFi and decentralized finance. So they got to learn about wallets, chains, DEX, slippage, gas, seed phrase, things like where'd my token go? What's it worth now? So it's just this huge, overwhelming learning curve, and it's something I'm sure everyone here has experienced as you first get into DeFi. So I saw a Reddit post back in May of 2021. So we've been around for a little over 2 years now, from the current CTO and COO launching Copiosa, also kind of recognizing the problem. And I thought, yes, finally, someone's working on fixing this. And everything's just kind of taken off from there. I really just absolutely love the vision here, and I'm super excited.
So you started Copiosa how long ago?
So let's see. About a year and a half now, I guess. So I was a community member, just helping out wherever I could. I've been an entrepreneur, business owner my whole life, so past 20 years, and I've done a bunch of different things. And just the I guess vision behind Copiosa and our mission is something
Yeah.
that really spoke out to me. Um, so yeah, but
And by, and by community member, you mean community member in the DeFi world, right?
yeah, and of Copiosa.
All right. So you were a community member in Copiosa, and now you're the CEO.
Yeah, exactly. I joined up and just was helping as much as I could on in my spare time, because I really just had a huge passion for their vision, and helped out more and more. And then eventually, it just made sense. I got with the current CTO, who was trying to sit in both seats, of CTO and CEO, and it just made a lot of sense to bring in that business ownership and entrepreneurship experience to amplify the team to that next level.
Yeah, I love those success stories, and I've heard a bunch of them of people just being community members, being active, and then being offered roles, without the traditional kind of path to hiring, which is so nice to see in this industry. So now, going a bit further down the rabbit hole with Copiosa, many of our listeners here, they're maybe just dipping their toes into the world of crypto. Although I know for a fact that a lot of them are DeFi OGs. So how does Copiosa make sure that users, especially those new to this space, feel not just educated but also secure when navigating such an app?
Yeah, definitely. So out of these two, as far as education and safety, we kind of started off with the safety and security aspect, as that affects our current user base now with our safety scanning feature. And on the educational side of things, we're starting to work on it now. As we're in the current bear market, pretty much all the users that are here and have started downloading our app, they're already well versed in DeFi. They understand what all the terms mean. So we put a higher priority on the safety and security aspect of things. And now we're working on the educational because we want everything to be as simple as possible and just crystal clear for new users whenever the next bull market comes along. And these new users can get onboarded really well and not get turned away like they were in the last few.
Got it. So I've also heard about a very nice feature that you have, which is Copiosa verified badge. Can you break it down for us? What does, a crypto need to have or do in order to earn such a, badge of verification?
Yeah, definitely. So we have Copiosa verified tokens, and it's basically a process we use to assess legitimacy, security, and utility of cryptos. I'm sure, again, probably everybody on this call knows, you've got rug pulls and scams just all over the place for small caps. So we really wanted to take time and try to protect users as much as can by giving them this extra badge of like, hey, this token, they've gone through this process. So some of the factors we've got is like how transparent is the team. So not just if they're doxed or not, like what's their background, what's their track record. And then you've got audit of the smart contract. We look at the community engagement levels, their long-term vision, the tokenomics, how the token actually works, and how it's used, so the utility of it, and then also regulatory compliance. So as we mentioned earlier, it's something that is going to be increasingly apparent throughout the Web3 life cycle. It's just trying to really bring the spirit of DeFi while also complying with all different regulations. And as for sharing this kind of detailed checklist, we're kind of trying to balance the list of transparency and also making sure that we keep the integrity of the process. So we are trying to release this list, but again, trying to keep a little bit of a balance between the two. And for people wanting to be notified of things like this, as far as new things that we release or company processes or anything like that, we have a company progress update every single Monday on our blog and links on our socials as well that kind of showcase what we've worked on for the past week and we're working on now. And if anybody has a token that they would like to get us in touch with, that they're really passionate about, you can reach out to Bailey, that's in the call as well, and he can start working on that verified process.
Thanks, Bailey. If you're here and you want to join the stage, feel free. This is, a very open AMA for the community. Uh, all right. So you've mentioned all this, which I think it's very important in our space, even though people want more decentralization, they want more trustlessness. I don't think we are really at that point in which, given how many scammers there are, how many phishing websites there are, in which you can just click on the right or the wrong link, and then you're getting hacked. So I think that such a tool, and we're doing this for Jumper as well. We're trying to have the a very curated list of tokens and exclude any kind of phishing or scam tokens, because that's only gonna come back to your reputation as a protocol, even though you're very decentralized. That goes against all the good guidelines of what a project should do. Now, speaking of the community, I've noticed the community program is getting quite a spotlight. Have there been any impactful results or stories that have emerged from this initiative?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got community programs led by our head of community, Andreas, and it's just really enhanced the back and forth communication with the entire community. and positivity in general. I feel like you surround yourself with positive people and you can really just go to new places. So we've also got lots of increased engagement, and then that gives us all of this really important feedback that we use to build the app and honestly the future of Copiosa, because it gives us insights into what users are wanting and just honestly gives us a little bit of a competitive edge because we have that back and forth communication with our community. And then we do have a community elites program as well, which is allows people to kind of become brand ambassadors and active voices for the vision. That's kind of how it started as well. Before we had the elites program, but just the same concept. And it just really, again, fosters that environment of collaboration and innovation.
Thanks. And now circling just a bit back on the real-time safety features, which I'm intrigued of, like the safe ratings and the safety scans. How do these operate like in real time to ensure safetiness? Like, and give us a real life example in case uh a token is or a smart contract is deprecated or is malicious. How do you track all this? Because for us, a jumper and at LI.Fi as a bridge and DAX aggregator, we're always keeping an eye 24/7 on the safety and security of bridges and DEXs. So in case anything goes wrong, even though it's just a hunch or it's a potential vulnerability or attack, we will delist for a short period of time until we're 100% sure that the bridge or said DEX is 100% operating until we turn it back on. So yeah, I'm curious, more about the process of Copiosa here.
Yeah. So right now we're utilizing different partners like Avenger DAO and just to create that real-time safety rating, safety scan. And we've combined tools with our own knowledge to kind of make a safety net that checks and rates the tokens really quickly. And so on the main screen, as for people that we downloaded the app, you've already seen this, but for people that maybe haven't yet. So we have a real quick overall score just for simplicity's sake. And then you can click that and it comes up with all this real detailed information onto exactly how we arrived at that score. And also on the token side allows them to look at different things for what they can improve as well. And then going forward in the future, I'm a huge AI guy. I think just the next wave business can really be amplified by utilizing AI. So we're working on different ways to utilize that to scan smart contracts and different things to try to keep users as safe as possible.
Thanks. Uh, there's been buzz about front-running bots in the crypto space, especially lately with all the DeFi sagas going on Twitter. I guess that everyone have seen, the curve situation in which an MEV researcher basically front ran liquidity and was able to front run the hacker, which in that case it was a white hat. But how does Capiosa address this, and how effective has the solution been in addressing front running bots?
Yeah, perfect. So we actually have this features complete, but it is not public in the build right now. It's going to be released on the very next build. So for everybody here, you kind of get a little sneak peek into things that are coming out soon. So for people that maybe don't know what front running is, I've got this little metaphor ready. So like, let's say you're waiting in line to buy ice cream at ice cream shop. Front running is like someone jumping ahead of you in line, buying all the ice cream real quick, so you have to pay more for the supply that's left. And the way that Copiosa kind of stops that from happening is it hides your place in line until it's your turn, and that way no one can really jump ahead of you because they don't know where to go. Hopefully that makes sense because my tech guy gave a tech answer and it completely makes sense, but it's also really, I needed to simplify it a little bit. So um, yeah, hopefully that helps.
Yeah, I always love this kind of analogies of real world someone's trying to pass you over, or they're not sitting in their spot in the queue. Uh, but yeah, I think that in general, the running on layer one, like Ethereum, is getting more and more competitive. I don't think it like on layer two, then scaling solution is probably uh more of a lottery right now, because with good infrastructure on being a researcher on layer one, of course, you're gonna win most of the transactions. But on layer two, given that gas, it's not that important. It's more of a lottery, like first come first serve kind of MEV. But yeah, now continuing to the Copiosa wallet, I've I've noticed that you guys are offering multilingual support. How do you ensure that translation keeps the original accuracy and the essence of the app's information? And how is that being received by the community?
Yeah, again, so this is a feature we're working on right now. But honestly, we try to get our community involved every single time we can. We meet about it a lot of like, okay, how can we get them to help more, how get them involved in the aspects of everything more. So with our users coming from all over the globe, we thought it would just be a cool idea to ask people if they'd like to help with translating and reviewing the app into their native language. And then to kind of ensure the accuracy and integrity of these translations, we also have professional translation services. But our thought is this kind of two-layer approach lets us involve the community and then also gives that double check system of quality control and validation of the translations. And ensures that the final content that we give is both precise and culturally sensitive. There's some little slight differences between even the same language in different countries, as I'm sure you all know as well. And we kind of just maintain the authenticity of the app information and then still really involve the community and celebrate their contributions.
Now going on to my favorite subject about the cross-chain functionalities. Could you delve a bit into how swaps work on Copiosa? And yeah, what's your general take of the bridging industry right now and the whole cross-chain versus multi-chain debate?
Yeah, so the LI.Fi partnership has been huge because my thought is, again, going back to you're new to DeFi, you're trying to understand all these different things. And a really big aspect of trying to understand decentralized finance is all the different chains. So by partnering with you all, we can offer some simplicity to the users by allowing them to complete these cross-chain swaps a lot easier than they would otherwise. And outside of just simplicity, you've got LeFi can also help offer our users a fast, cheap, safe route for their swap requests. And it kind of aligns really well with our mission of making the world of DeFi more accessible and user friendly, especially so much. I know I keep hitting on this, but for newcomers, I think a lot of us, we get heavily involved in DeFi and kind of forget how confusing it is for new people. So by removing some of these barriers and complexity associated with the cross-chain swaps, we can take this enormous step forward in democratizing access.
Yeah, I mean that's our ethos, and that's what we're trying to do. Even though it's liquidity, it's still very fragmented in the whole DeFi space, offering as much as possible of a seamless experience when it comes to swapping, and trying to make the user know that it doesn't matter on which chain they're starting from or they're ending, because it's all we're figuring out all the bridging and swapping in the back end. But I'm curious, what do you think about the future of cross-chain liquidity in DeFi? Do you think it's gonna get more fragmented with the whole that chain thesis coming around the corner, or will it be even more uh cumulative in the way that the user will not need aggregators or bridges, and it will basically just be uh, allowed to pass its liquidity from one chain to the other seamlessly. By the way, I don't think that we're nearly close to that, but I'm curious, for other perspectives.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a boring answer, but I could see it going both ways as far as chain condensing some, the amount of different chains available, kind of people over time find their favorites and other ones could fall off. Or you could also see it going the other way where just so many pop up because they're constantly coming up with different advantages and differentiators from others. So I think just preparing for both is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, I guess so. Uh, Even for us, like, yeah, we're kind of seeing the best of both worlds. So in case that there will still be a need for aggregators and liquidity will be, still in 15 different places across the space. Of course, bridges being aggregated and DEXs into one place is the best solution. But in case liquidity will get less fragmented, that would still mean that less means that there is still a need to pass liquidity from one scaling solution to the other by having a third party bridge communicating through that. So it's probably a combination of both. But now that we're going to the end of the AMA, I really like to give a few minutes for our partner here, for our guest, to speak more about some alpha drop and any new features, any new updates that are around the corner that they might be public, they might not be public, that you want to share with our 484 people here in the audience.
Yeah, as far as just so we do have our canning board, which has kind of the direct stuff that we're working on currently. And again, we involve the community to where they can provide their feedback and feature requests and any bugs, of course. And we review that really often. But outside of right now and just here the next month or two, which is on Canny, really we're again, right now, we're kind of focused on small caps. We kind of see that as the biggest problem to be fixed and something that really helps separate us from the competition. But our ultimate goal, though, is just to be this huge driving force in decentralized finance in general. And by providing tools and services that can democratize access to financial opportunities for everyone. So again, I know I've made a lot of statements on making it easy for newcomers, but we also have really spent time on um, getting these verified tokens in and providing lots of information about them as almost like a democratized pitch deck. So that way, people that are well versed in DeFi as well can learn more about tokens and find this information that they wouldn't be able to find elsewhere and make smarter investments, basically. So it's the app is both for newcomers to help kind of hold their hand and get them into understanding all the different aspects of DeFi, and then also for the advanced users to be able to uh, really get in there and learn a lot easily and quickly.
Thanks for the alpha drop here. So I think that we will also have a campaign running with you, which I think it started today or it'll start tomorrow. But anyways, for our community, be sure to check our socials to see the latest about the campaign with Copiosa. Maybe Josh, you want to share your socials here, and Jordan could put them up in the chat so people can, right now, if you want to have them do some. Okay, you already did. Jordan,
Yeah.
thank you. We have your official Twitter, official website. Go give them a follow and give the app a spin.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you very much, Josh. This has been great. And yes, for our community, please participate in the campaign. It's gonna be a very nice one. And yes, see you in the next one. Thank you very much, Josh, for attending. This has been great.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And then, honestly, if anybody else has any further questions, just join our Telegram or Discord and come ask. And someone from the community program will help, or one of us from the team. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
as
you very
well.
much.
It's been a pleasure, and speak to you guys soon.
Great. Thanks, y'all.
Cheerio.